Right, good morning everyone. Myself and Richard have been asked to come here today to talk about our experience in mobile worker. We've had the system in place now for a couple of years. We're going to talk about prior and post us engaging with mobile worker. So yeah, I'm Dale Chenery, HA Business Development Director. This is Richard Battle, RTM Operations Manager. This is not far off what was happened when I went to HA. So one of the things me and Simon Marsh, who owned the company, discussed was that we need to get paperless. We've got so many jobs that need all this paperwork. There was people being bogged down with literally printing stuff off, briefing people, and obviously that amount of paperwork is not unrealistic and what we had to produce every day. And there was piles around people's desks, and that's particularly Jasmine, who works for us, collecting timesheets and having to process them, etc., etc. So we all knew that something had to be done. So that was my job to sort of look and go out on the open market and see, or also, do we make our own app?
So back when I was first working in the office, and we were probably pushing out sort of 30 jobs a day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing sort of 10 to 15 sheets of paper per job pack, printing them out, getting them ready to go, it was just bombarded constantly every day. But now we're now up to 70 jobs a day. I don't think we'd be able to cope, or we wouldn't cope now if that was. And how it says, printer maintenance, the ink, everything was just an onslaught every week. And just down to the simple things of allocating the work out to people in our industry, as people who work in the same industry as us. Things changed last minute. You've printed out a 15-page job pack, and at 5 o'clock you get a phone call saying, change of plan tomorrow, we need to do this, and the whole thing's got to change.
We obviously see what the problem was. We had to decide what we were going to do. So my first initial thoughts were, because I worked previously, another company I worked previous to that, is that they were designing their own. But on investigation of that, obviously, we have looked at the cost and the time scale, and we work closely with our company, our IT company, and he quite honestly said quite an astronomical amount of money to develop that, and also in the background building that, and the ongoing cost of support, and the time scale didn't fit into what we needed. Although the sound of building your own mobile app is fantastic, in reality that was not the choice for us. So we worked out the cost and how long we'd have to get payback after we worked out how much it cost to have mobile worker, and that's like 15 years or something. So we knew that that wasn't the way forward for us. So obviously the solution for us was we went out on the open market, looked at everyone's applications and what they did and how they worked and didn't fit in with us. And the one we chose was mobile worker. So we looked at that, and for us that was although we knew some of our competitors were using it, we weren't obviously sold on the fact that they were using it. So it had to fit in with what we wanted to do. And then the cost, obviously everyone, my managing director and finance director, how much it's going to cost me. So, we obviously were happy with the cost. We worked it out against developing our own app and what it was going to do for us. And also, not only what you've got to realise is that the amount of time it saves you on admin, like for Richard and Liam and Andrew, who work in the office and have to file all this stuff, collect all that data, then whereas click on the job, everything's there. That's what we like.
To start with, we had a workflow for everything. It covered everything. But as time went on, we realised actually we can make it so much better for ourselves and easier for the guys out on site, because they're not getting asked multiple questions to say, and they get a little bit frustrated saying, it's already asked me that, or I'm not doing that, or I'm not doing this. So what we've actually gone away and made things more site specific. So when we create a job, we can say they're doing a road closure, or they've got to do a multi different types of TM, or they're doing just a set of traffic lights. Are they just delivering a set? Is it a collection? Is it just a site maintenance? So actually, with doing that, it's actually made the guys' life even easier. It makes Bianca in our office job even easier when she's looking through it and checking the work or sending off information to clients what they've asked for. And that's just been such an easy process, just with emails or telephone conversation with a mobile worker. It's normally, it's a quick, easy fix.
So what we found with mobile worker is that whatever we've asked for, obviously they've took it on board, and there's been a lot of detail and thought process put in behind. Questions have been asked that we didn't think about, that we put potentially affect the workflow. So they're actively, trying to improve with us, which is great. And then patience with our sometimes demanding requirements. So we want it now, and they always oblige and give us realistic time slopes on how that is going to be, how we're going to do that. And also, this is the biggest thing for us, and it has been over the last 2 years, is the continuous assistance with the development of the app to suit HA needs. So it always, whatever we ask for, or we come up with an idea, it's been developed. So from where we started 2 years ago to where we are now is just a massive involvement of it. But that just goes to show the capabilities of it. It started there, and we're up here with it now.
Everything's there. Everything's timestamp, dated, timed. Everything. Exact location where it's done. So there's no issues. We don't find any issues with anything what the guys are doing. Starting from the vehicle, our guys can't go out on the road until they've done a vehicle check. They can't get the job back until they've done it. It's forced with photographs. Changed it so they have to have photographs of front, side, back, and the dashboard of the vehicle. Checking in, checking out the vehicle. Then that way, at least, I've got this dent in the van. That wasn't me. Well, that wasn't in the picture we took it, but the person who took out the night times got it in there. So that's saved us a lot of money. The vehicle defects, the guys can't go anywhere until they're done. Whether they're starting from home, whether they're starting in the yard in the morning, they can't do anything. So with that, travelling, arriving and leaving site, everything's recorded, and everything's recorded where they're doing it. So if you've got somebody that's clicked leaving site at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's from their house or from Asda car park or round the corner from the yard, you can see the guys, and we've just stopped it from happening, haven't we?
Yeah.
Right through the business. So actually, we've been a lot more beneficial from having people back 2 hours early and just go and do a quick maintenance or a battery change for you, and then having to send somebody who's already done their hours for the day and you're paying them extra to go and do it. So
and also, just on that, is that we can leave it into our clients, because we all know that people say that they're on site, they're not, but they can see, because obviously via the portal they can see what's on their right and check the activity and check the geotag and that they're there, which gives our clients a bit more confidence. Don't mind how many times you ask the officers to take a photo and send it to you, they always forget.
whereas
They can't get hold of them to get the photo.
But they don't have that option anymore because they can't sign off their
They
job.
can't finish their job until they've done site clean photos.
Yeah.
So enforced compliance, health and safety, so we just touched on how much more efficient we are when it comes to health and safety. We've got no gaps in our signing off briefings, method statements and risk assessments. We've got everything there, it's in every job file, has to be done, can't not be done before they can do their job.
Yeah, site briefings, I said again, saved me having to be in the yard at up to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning every day going, here's your site briefings. And that's one benefit as well, they're not having to come into the yard and literally come in the yard and go, oh, have you got my job back? I haven't done it yet. Whereas now they go home, put their feet up, put the kettle on, and most of them, quite sad bit like us, they'll go, oh, I wonder what I'm doing tomorrow. Straight on their phones, having a look. Have I got that loaded? Oh, do I need to go back to the yard in the morning? I've got everything I need. And now, I don't see anyone doing it. As much as sometimes you think, I'd be nice to see a couple of people, I haven't seen you for ages, but just be able to get on with other stuff.
Well, I think that just evidence that this works, because we're not having people coming in and not understanding what they've got to do for the next day.
But still, I think even if you've got a big job with 20, 30 people, mobile worker, you can give that to 4 or 5 operatives on site and everything's covered. With our big servicing schemes we do, everyone knows what the score is, you know everything's out there. So by the time you get to site, they know what they're doing. They've all had the conversations, had the messages, had the phone calls with each other. So being able to upload RAMs and everything onto the app, like having everything stored on there. Within traffic management, Amazon, there's so much information that people want to know and ask if they come onto site, different councils and that. And straight away you can just go onto the, can't see very well here, but onto the little clip on there. What do you want? Documentations, round for road closure. And you see all of our site specific or the, or just like generic stuff. So, you've got there 10, 12 pages of generic RAMs for people to read if they want to. At least they see it on there. They know where to access it, and it's so easy to access it. You just have one massive great red folder in every vehicle, and then you have to update it every few weeks, and whereas we don't have any of that now. It's easy just to add and remove stuff from the back office.
We can look, and we touched on this briefly about site audits, we can look on there and see whether people are doing what they should be doing, when they should be doing it. We can correct them without even going up on site, pick up on stuff that they're not doing right, they ain't quite in the right place, and educate them rather than getting onto them. We can educate them via mobile worker.
Especially with our high speed, we found that we needed to capture more with calling on jobs, calling off jobs. So straight away in the morning, if you had a question from the client saying, what time did you get off, what time did you get off? Everything's there.
Traffic counts,
everything. All the information is so easy just to view. And you can view it and email it across to them within minutes. It takes seconds. Once you're on there, it takes just no time at all. Site clearance photos, that's a massive one. For our clients who can literally just log straight into their own portals, they don't even need to contact us, log straight in, get the cleared photos, send them off to the local council and say, yeah, we're off the road.
One of the biggest things for us, and we all know, the relationships with our clients are important, and what we do, and we offer an open policy that they can have a look at whatever they like when they like. So with the client portal, we issue them a login, a username, and they can access. And when we tell clients this, they love it, because that's another phone call, email they don't have to send. Can you send me your on and off times for the M1 last night? Don't need to. If you go on your portal, you can see what time they arrived on site, what time they installed, what time they removed.
We've now started doing plant tracking with our traffic lights, needing specific lights for certain jobs. You can actually pre getting jobs ready. We've got a job going out in London, we need tactiles on our pedestrian lights. We can get them ready to go. So the boys come in and they know they're taking this light, this light, this light and this light. Whereas before it was a free-for-all and then suddenly get a phone call. I've only got one tactile when I'm in London. Brilliant. You are busy 5 hours and then so just things like that has just made everyone's life easier.
Increased outputs with no extra admin staff. So as a company, when we first took on Mobile Worker, we were pushing out 20 to 30 jobs, we do about 70 jobs a day, and that 70 jobs a day you would imagine would be a massive admin team, but we haven't. We've probably got doubled our 2 to 4, and that itself is a massive saving for us, and and it's not a stress or a strain. We have all the information on there, and the people when it's just user friendly. So we use mobile work just to get paid. Proof of delivery. So obviously the biggest important thing for any business is cash flow. So what we do, and we have to do with some of our big clients, is we have to give mobile worker documentation along with the payment application. So we send off our payment applications with the mobile worker files. They get put into a file for particular clients, and then they get sent away the payment application. And that's streamlined our payment process with the evidence that we give them. They've got, there's no ifs or buts or work. This is it. There's photos of us being on site and clear on site. So that's a massive thing. Our finance director loves it because backwards with QSs about what you've done, what you haven't done. We all know that's important. And then we're very proud to say that I know the HA achieved 100% on their ISO 9001 audit. So, and there's only 1 in 4 people. So we're one of 4 people companies in the UK to achieve that, and we believe, and a massive contributing factor to that was that Mobile Worker and the way that all our information was at hand for the assessor to come in and see. And to be honest with you, normally what would happen is they go into the room, look through all your stuff, and be coming in asking loads of different questions. He hardly came in. He actually could see everything, how we stored it, how we drove the health and safety processes, documentation, how the jobs are issued. So he was more more than happy, and we put a lot. I mean, obviously our end, we have to do a lot of work, but what complemented that, our hard work, was Mobile Worker and getting everything in one place. I think that Mobile Worker is very relevant. Is the fact that, okay, Mobile Worker is the platform, but they work with you to make it your app to work for you, and that's what we love. You know, and as you can see, how well we've done with it. I mean, with total jobs in Mobile Workers so far today is 15,123. And you can imagine how much paperwork that would be, and if we worked it out earlier than 15 minutes per job. So yeah, that's one thing I'd like to emphasise, is that Mobile Worker makes it into your app to suit your needs. So this is just like a closing statement, but I think it's quite relevant. So what is the most important part in business to keep it running? And some people may think it's money, but me personally, this is my thing. In my opinion, the most important thing is to ensure that both your office staff and operatives have the least labour-intensive and time-consuming system. This will allow them time to concentrate on the detail of the work in hand, allowing your standards will rise, health and safety and well-being will improve, allowing you to retain your clients and reap the rewards.